In this episode, I reveal what was in the Club Cloth Edit boxes and talk about the two makes I made with the two colourways. Hello, I'm Gabrielle. Welcome back to Cloth Edit and a special welcome to any new subscribers. I've had some lovely new subscribers recently and I believe that they're courtesy of Ruan from the Yorkshire Sew Girl. We're running a challenge together, Sew April Blouse 23, which starts very soon in 1 week. So yes, but more about that next week. In this episode, I wanted to talk about the Club Cloth Edit offering and what it looked like. I think nearly everyone's received their boxes. Even a lovely customer in Canada emailed to say she received her box, which was lovely. And I just want to talk about what was in it. So I'm wearing one of the fabrics, the pink colourway, and I'll talk more about my make in this, the pattern I used, and more about the fabric in a little bit. The inspiration for the first club offering was House of Z or House of Zimmerman. I love Zimmerman. The fabrics that they use are so romantic, so unique. They don't really follow a trend, they just are Zimmerman. There's a romance around their designs and their fabrics. There's always a little point of difference, and not only particularly this colourway for me was very Zimmerman-esque, but the actual cloth is the Japanese cotton Yuri jacquard that I actually have. I have others in my store, but I love that cloth base. It is so unique. So it's a fine cotton that has a jacquard application, and that jacquard is cut. It's a cut jacquard. So what it does is just gives it the fabric a unique dimension. It's stunning. So the pink colorway, actually, as I mentioned in the description, also includes some warmer colors, so that there's a darker pink in the flower, but it also includes like a warm orange red as well. So it's just beautiful. So when the customer opened the box, this is what they saw. So there's the polka dot tissue paper on the inside to match the bow on the outside, and once they're in that, there was the fabric, a brochure, this brochure, and a little black envelope that had a number of little things in it. So their machine needles were in there, just their packet of Schmetz needles, and a lovely Maison Fauve brochure of all their patterns. I'll just quickly show you that. So a lovely brochure, a quick reference for Maison Fauve fans. And there was a fabric sample, more on that a little bit later, and a little gift also wrapped up in tissue paper, and that had the thread, the matching thread, and that was the same in the black box. And then there was an extra little gift. Now the gift in the pink colorway box was a Taylor Seville double-sided retractable seam ripper. So there's a fine end and then a bigger end for denim and so forth, and I've been using this for a number of weeks and I love it, so I wanted to pass that on. I love the idea that it's retractable and it's got two sizes. It's really sharp. I really love it. And then of course the fabric. Right, cicadas have ceased. So the fabric, so there was a choice of 2 or 3 meters. and I actually had cut 3 meters for myself, but the rolls were short, so I had to sort of give that up and just be happy with a lesser amount, and so that was fine. And in this little brochure there was a discount code for one of the pattern suggestions that I have here, and one of the patterns that I suggested is the Maison Fauve Chelsea blouse, and I'll have much better pictures which I'll pop in here. It's this pattern here. That's my copy. It's all open, and I will definitely be making another one of these. I love it. So I've just made a Marnie along with lots of other people, and this too has pleats. This was released before the Marnie, well before the Marnie, so they were on the pleat thing early. I love, it's a raglan sleeve blouse. It has a bias neck finish, these angled pleats that lead to this opening here, which I think is just lovely. There are also some pleats over the shoulders, and they're sort of ironed forward, so which gives it a lovely look, and I'll have photos here for you. So just like Zimmerman, I wanted to choose a pattern that just had some element of embellishment. So I love those pleats. I love that pleat detail. I love this pattern. I'd highly recommend it. It isn't, because of the language, you know, the instructions are translated, so sometimes it's not as clear as you know, you might have in other patterns. But if you actually go to the Maison Fauve website, each pattern has its own tutorial. So even though the tutorial is in French, you can actually see the steps as you're sewing. So I think that's great. I didn't have any trouble at all. I find that the images were clear enough. I just sort of followed the pictures really. I'll just give you an indication of what they're like. Again, lovely booklet in with the pattern. Right, so that's my Chelsea. Now on to the black colourway, and just like that I'm changed into the black colourway. I'm really running the gauntlet with the cicadas today. It's been a challenge. Right, now the black colourway box, the opening looked like this. So the same brochure, the same Maison Fauve brochure. There was the sample of another fabric, which I'll show you in a minute. They received the thread, the Schmetz needles, but the gift was another Taylor Seville item. It's a brand new item, the flat head pins. So these are the extra long. I've only got 2 boxes left, I think, and but I'm going to pop those on the weekend. But I also picked up a few of the shorter length in this flathead as well. I have had Taylor Seville pins in my shop since opening. They featured on my front page, on my top banner of my website for a year before I worked out I could change it regularly. I love them. Before I started Cloth Edit and was researching different types of pins, I just used what most of you probably use, just cheaper pins that you would get in those little round containers, and I was more or less happy. I didn't know any better, but the number of times where you had a blunt pin was ridiculous. So anyway, and I'd always be throwing out pins, but I have thrown out all of those pins, and now I have little containers and little dishes of my different good pins for different purposes. So I've got the silk pins, I've got the extra fine pins, I've got the long pins, I've like to use for different things. So these are going to be great for a number of reasons. I love that it's a bigger dish, so it's easier to get them in and out, so you don't have to put them in a bowl for easy access when you're sewing. But I love, and also I think this is going to be they're going to be really good for people who have a little bit of trouble, you know, if you're a little bit arthritic, easier to pick up, easier than just a flathead pin, you know, the flower flathead pins. I think these have got a little bit of a grip on them, and they're flatter, so I think they're great for, you know, when you're steaming something that's pinned. Yes, so anyway, love them. So that's what was in with the black. Now, what did I make? I wanted to make a dress out of my black colourway, but as I mentioned, unless I had to cut out the bit that I've already mentioned, I didn't have the 3 meters. I was only left with about 1.75 or so that I had to work with. So anyway, I made a Marnie, another Marnie. So this one here, I had to leave off a few things, and I wanted to do it a little bit differently from my previous one. So my other one's this one here. So this one I left off the frill around the shoulder, and because this I didn't want to have it double layered, and because the underside is quite white, the frills wouldn't have worked very well anyway with this black. But this is one of my favorite sleeves, I think. I really love it, and I'll insert some better pictures for you here. I put the pleats in on the yoke. I didn't put the pleats in on the shoulder. I did play around and did some nice, used a bit of a decorative stitch just in black, where that seam is, where the lower sleeve joins the upper sleeve. What else did I do? Nothing else. It's one of my favorite patterns, I have to say. I really, really love it, and it's beautiful in this fabric. As I mentioned with my first Marnie, again, that was in the same base cloth, the Japanese Yuri jacquard. There's a lot of volume to this pattern, to the Marnie, but because of the nature of the print, you can there's a sense, you can see your body underneath it. There's a sense of your body underneath it, so it's not too, it doesn't feel too tent-like. Yes, so I think it's perfect for this. So in addition to all those goodies, in the Club Cloth Edit box, I inserted a sample of another colourway in this House of Z print, and it is this one here. So it's Canary, and it is beautiful. Now, the reason I didn't put yellow as an option or Canary as an option is I know that so many people are really hesitant about yellow, and I am one of them. You know, I don't usually wear yellow. My family jokes that I don't wear yellow. But this is cut off. I've got a cut of this for me, put aside, because I am making something from this. This print makes yellow wearable for those who perhaps don't wear it. It includes blue, and there's lots of taupe in there as well, and it's stunning. It is really stunning, and I'm going to put in some Zimmerman inspiration for you here. Now, it probably seems funny that I'm going to make a dress in this light sort of spring-like colourway when I'm, you know, in autumn here, but I live in a climate where it doesn't get really cold until maybe end of July. July and August can be cold, but still throughout the day I'm usually wearing my regular summer clothes with maybe a slip underneath, and if I'm going out or if it's later in the afternoon, I'll wear a denim jacket usually. So I'm actually making a new denim jacket. I want one with a little bit more room in the sleeve to accommodate some bigger sleeves in dresses. So this is going to be a Zimmerman inspired dress, because I didn't get to make my dress in the black or the pink. I'm making it in the yellow, and I want to really play around with some Zimmerman-esque features. So I've got a few ideas in mind. I love the idea of including white rickrack like this inspo picture somewhere, whether it's around the collar and down the button placket. I love the idea also of a contrast ruffle on either side of the button placket coming down just like this. I want to try and replicate that, and I don't know if that I would actually like that in a contrasting fabric. So in this Japanese cotton Yuri jacquard range, I do have another yellow fabric, but it's a floral with pinks in it, and I thought that would be good to use as the ruffle down that button placket. But there are lots of options. I mean, if you're looking to do that, it'd work perfectly with a bit of chambray. It'll look great with a check as well, a smaller scale floral, contrasting floral. Anyway, there's so many. I'm going to have lots of fun, but I need your help as far as patterns go. I haven't really started to look. Cicadas. Sorry about that. So I've yes, I need to find a dress pattern, or I might have to hack. I need something with a separate button placket. Well, I mean, I could adjust it if I couldn't find one with a button placket, but that would be great. I can draft the frill myself, that's fine. But yeah, so if you have any ideas, I was thinking of the Tilly and the Buttons Lyra, I don't know how to pronounce that. That might be a good place to start, but drafting the button placket. I don't think it's got a button placket, I don't think so. But that's the kind of look I want overall. So I think that's probably the best place to start. But if you have a better idea, let me know. I want bigger sleeves though. I want Marnie style sleeves on that dress though. And I can't wait. And that's going to look great with it's going to look great with just sneakers. So I'm excited about that. Right, I think that is it. Let me just see. Yes, I think I've covered everything. Thank you so much for stopping by again. If you like the video, if you like my content, if you could give it a like, that would be lovely. And if you can subscribe if you haven't, that would be great too. So yes, my first club cloth edit, and another option for you if anyone missed out. That's going to be up on the website by the time you're watching this. I've got lots of new things on the site this weekend also, and that'll be in a separate video. But FYI, there's new Atelier Jupe fabrics and an Atelier Jupe restock and some new patterns. So it's been busy, busy, busy. I will be back very soon, so take care and have a lovely, lovely weekend. Bye-bye.